Hey, what is up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we bring you this really strange upgrade slim tower, Optiplex 780 tower. I don't even know what the title is yet. Oh wait, just thought of a video title. Can a Core 2 Quad play games in 2019?
But after a word from today's sponsor.
Do you need help with YouTube? Are you ready to take the next step and make your channel bigger? Alright, well listen up, I got just the thing for you. It's called TubeBuddy. It's an extension tailored for YouTube and it offers all kinds of tools. One of my favorite is the tag suggester, and another one of my favorite is the best time to upload feature. But that's only to name a few, so go check it out for yourself in the link down below.
What we have right here is an Optiplex 780 that actually has a Q8400 in it, which is a Core 2 Quad processor. What we're going to be doing today is taking this system, upgrading it with a 1050, which we actually have two of these lying around. We need to find a use for them.
Only one now.
But now we only have one, so that's a good thing. I'm going to let Jackson talk to you about the history, or a little bit of a history, of the Core 2 Quad platform and exactly why it may still be relevant in 2019.
So the Core 2 Quad is basically on the Intel's Core 2 platform, and basically the Core 2 Quad came out in like 2007. This specific one came out in like 2008. They were actually a little bit expensive when they came out, and you got to remember the whole Core 2 thing was around before the I series was. So Core 2 Quad back in the day, that was like, you were the shit if you had one of these.
Oh yeah,
so
you got it.
We're going to see if in 2019 can these still kind of keep up with some of the newer systems. Obviously, you know, this is a cheap system. Even back then, this would have been a little bit of a cheaper build, but it did actually have a low-profile graphics card in it, and we're going to put a better one in there.
Now, normally close to this platform, we always recommend you go with those cheap Xeon processors, and those are around the first gen i7 series, so those will perform substantially better than this Core 2 Quad, or whatever it is now, Core 2 Quad, Far Quad. It's a decent CPU, but the main thing is, will it be a bottleneck for a 1050, and in games like Apex Legends, maybe, I don't even think Black Ops 4 will run with it, we could try, and just some of your popular Battle Royale titles, can it get an above 60 FPS experience, maybe at 1080p, maybe not. What we're gonna do is slide this graphics card in. And the key with this graphics card is the fact that it has a low profile bracket on it. With systems like this being a slim tower, you need a low profile graphics card so it can actually fit inside there. And we're gonna show you real quick how you can easily throw a graphics card inside
this one actually has a bracket too, because this one doesn't. I wanted to point out we're missing the little DVD drive that goes here, and it's one of those like micro mini ITX DVD drives. So
who needs it?
Came up with the idea to kind of fill that void with a little Chinese RGB strip in there. So it's gonna look super cool, super custom, sleeper PC, I think, yes.
All right, let's do it.
Surgery time. So here guys, we have the epic 5450 GPU, and we're just gonna go ahead and yoink that out of here. But hey, you know, back in the day, this was not really good either.
It's still pretty crap.
But you know, it's one of those things where if you had one of these small systems, you know, they did not have the 1050, like I would say like 5 or 6 years ago, if I had to throw a guess out there. But they did have stuff like this, like the 6450, 5450. There's a couple other ones I can't even think off the top of my head. When this came out, this was like super awesome. This was like, oh crap, we have a new low profile mini ITX card that'll work in these systems. But you know, back then, this was about all you could get.
And one thing to note, this system actually has been used in a lot of videos on the channel. I just recently did a $15 budget streaming PC using something like this. If you haven't seen the video, hit the on the top right, check the video out. But today we're gonna try to see if this thing on its own can game. And as you can tell, the thing is actually installed. It's ready to go, dude. It's ready to go. But all jokes aside, it's super simple to install these graphics cards as long as they have the low profile bracket on them. You can line it up and maybe, will it work?
Wait, it wants us to put that in here.
Interesting. Is it actually making us put it in the bottom slot?
Yeah, I don't think that'll work. Are we gonna have to modify this case to make this work? You know what we could do? If we take the bracket off? Ooh, actually, I don't know if that'll work.
1 second, guys. The graphics card wants to line up to where the bracket actually doesn't fit. So we're actually going to do a little bit of Dremel modding so that the HDMI, so that the DVI port coming out right here, which I can up this a little bit for you guys, the DVI port will actually show and be able to be used, because without it, the DVI port is going to be pushing up against the actual case, and it's going to be impossible to actually install properly. So yeah, a little bit of modding will go a long way. All right, Jackson, explain exactly what the hell you did here.
So I had to mangle and finagle this graphics card to go in. We had to, because for some dumb reason, they decided to like put a, I don't even, what was it even called? Just regular PCI or AGP maybe.
Yeah.
Might be AGP because it's like the reverse PCI look to it, but they decided to put it all the way over here, and that's what they designed to have the two outputs for. And it worked fine for our single lane 5450, but with this, it's not going to work because we had a DVI over here, so we had to cut the spot out for the DVI.
But yeah, now it should be good and ready to be plugged up, and hopefully we get some benchmarks ready with this thing.
Oh god.
The next step we're going to be adding is this RGB strip, which we kind of came up with the idea of like jamming it into this front panel real quick. It'll probably look cool because it's going to be like right here in this. Whoa my god, was that an elephant? Alright guys, so we're going to be testing two games today, and two games that really a majority of people actually care about, and that is Fortnite and Apex Legends. We only have a 120 gig SSD in the system, so it's really hard to download more games than that. But as you can tell right now, we're going to be running Fortnite on the quote-unquote pro settings with epic view distance and everything else on low or off. VSync is turned off currently, motion blur is turned off. We do have show FPS showing. We are running at 1080p with the unlimited frame rate cap, so this will probably incorporate some micro stutter here and there, but there is a good chance that, as you can see right now in the menu, we're at around 100 or so FPS, which is pretty decent, but everything in this system is pinged at 100%, if you can see right here. It did drop down just a minute, but as everything's loading in, everything in the system is pinging at 100%, which is not a good sign, but it also shows that the system is somewhat balanced. The 1050 is not a bottleneck, and the CPU is not a bottleneck. Alright, so we're going to just do a hot drop real quick. I don't even know what that means in this game anymore. I don't play it. But we're going to drop in real quick to, I think this is the soccer place? Yeah, this isn't even a hot drop. But I'm just going to drop in. As you can tell, we were getting a lot of stuttering. We are below 60 FPS currently dropping in. This could be fixed with a frame rate cap of 60 FPS. But for benchmarking purposes, we really need to test it without that frame rate cap so you can get a good idea of exactly what kind of performance you get without it. I'm going to land real quick on top of this med kit and not pick up a gun. But right now, we're actually at around 70-ish FPS. There is, again, a lot of stuttering, but this could be something, as I mentioned, that could be alleviated by using a frame rate cap. I got him, dude. I'm still a Fortnite god. But hey, as you can tell right now, running around, the frame rate is very inconsistent. There'll be times, as you can see, we're at like 100 FPS, but then there'll be times where it's hovering around like 40, 30 here and there. So a frame rate cap would actually make this, honestly, more than playable, and I'm actually kind of impressed. The Core 2 Quad is not that bad using pro settings in Fortnite at 1080p. So how about we switch to some Apex Legends real quick? Well, actually, we are not going to be testing Apex Legends. This kind of kills the video a little bit because we wanted to see how it performs in popular games, and Apex Legends is one of those games that supports a certain instruction on the CPU, and well, it doesn't have it. The Core 2 Quads don't actually support it, so we won't be able to tell if it can actually run Apex Legends. So as of right now, it doesn't work. So, yeah, that's kind of disappointing, but yeah, let's close this out real quick, I guess. All right, well, that was kind of a disappointing end, and you as viewers might have saw it coming, but we weren't aware that the Core 2 Quads or the Quad series processors actually didn't support Apex Legends. That is something we heard from the Phenom processor line on AMD's side also, which is very unfortunate because this actually performed okay in Fortnite. As you can tell from the benchmarks, it was getting 60 plus FPS and with some stutters here and there, but the Core 2 Quad lineup actually impressed me more than I thought it would.
It kind of reminds me of like the AMD with the B95, which is like the Phenom series. That kind of sucks that you can't use those in games like Apex because they're still really good systems. I mean, like you can find them sitting around anywhere and then build one and play games with it. But you know, I guess evolution with computer parts has to happen. And so we're moving on, and this thing's radiating some heat. I feel like if it was still wintertime, this would be great.
So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep this as an instructional thing if you are considering getting a Core 2 Quad system for Apex, because you literally can't. So keep that in mind if you do look into getting something like a Core 2 Quad system on the used market, or maybe you found one cheap somewhere. Be sure to mention that if you decide to flip it.
So as always, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Adios.
it.